And with that, I think I will conclude my remarks and answer a couple of your questions.
Yes, ma'am, you mentioned your platform, including Iraq, Pentagon spending,
Oh,
healthcare. Would you-
I need to mention more in depth something else that is, yes, thank you very much. That is, and since you don't have the microphone, you don't have to yield, right? I can just take it. But I also want to mention the fact that there now are people across our country who are the internally displaced of Hurricanes Katrina and Rita. And I know Jocelyn has been covering this issue very closely. They have come together in the dispersed cities across our country, and they have decided that they too now must step outside of the two-party paradigm. They must step outside of the two-party paradigm because the two parties have not served their needs. They want to go home. They want to see the Gulf states rebuilt, and they want to have an opportunity to rebuild the Gulf states. And that's not happening. And unfortunately, just a few weeks ago, Mayor Nagin and the New Orleans City Council voted to demolish the St. Bernard public housing complex. So now here again, we have people who came together and formed a tribunal, the International Tribunal on Hurricanes Katrina and Rita. And now they have come together for a full political expression. And what they have put together is a platform. And so what I would like to do is read the major bullet points of the platform. They say, we want freedom now. And freedom includes election integrity. Let me find. Election integrity, voter choice, civil liberties, and of course the survivor rights of the Hurricane Katrina and Rita survivor rights as expressed in the International Tribunal. They want full employment now, and that would include a right to organize, a repeal of free trade agreements. They would like to see the economy greened, and they would like to see livable wages. Jobs at livable wages. If workers' pay had increased at the same rate as CEO pay, the minimum wage today would be $22 an hour, according to the Institute for Policy Studies. And we know that it's nowhere near $22 an hour. They also have a platform that endorses reparations. I would like to also commend the members of the Green Party for their 2004 platform position that also supports the aspirations of people of African descent in this country to get reparations. They say that we need a budget for human needs and not corporate greed. They also address the issue of police brutality. They would like to see an end to the drug war, end prisons for profit, protection of the environment, and end to militarism, which is an endorsement, which includes an endorsement of the Department of Peace, which is legislation that's carried by Congressman Dennis Kucinich. They also would like to see an end to militarism of space. They would like to see the dismantlement of AFRICOM, and they want peace now. And peace also includes making peace with our very first citizens, our very first indigenous community on this in this area, and that would be the Native Americans. And of course, the United States was one of only a handful of countries that failed to support the Declaration of indigenous rights when it came before the United Nations not very long ago. So it would be the 10-point Reconstruction Platform Plan, and it is this 10-point Reconstruction Platform that I point. It is those Hurricane Katrina and Rita survivors are joined by people in various communities across our country that also need to be reconstructed. And so that's why they've called it a reconstruction platform, not just for the Gulf states, but for all communities across our country. Now I'm ready for you.
People in your Georgia congressional district elected you 6 times to make many of these same arguments, to be their voice. Why try this remarkable long shot goal versus trying to return to the Congress from Georgia?
You call it a long shot, and that's really prejudicial language. And I really don't think you ought to characterize what we're doing in that term. However, we define for ourselves what winning is. And I'm sure that Brent talked a little bit about a 5% goal. And you know what happens when a non-nationally recognized party achieves 5%. 5% means then that voters have institutionalized choice. So this is a very, very concrete goal, and that by no means should be characterized as long shot. In addition to that, you're absolutely right. There are a lot of people in the state of Georgia who would like to see me go back to Congress. But what I'm learning is that there are a lot of people in New York and in California and in Massachusetts and in Wisconsin who also would like to see me do this job first, and that is to achieve ballot access. We've never had ballot access in Georgia for the Green Party. Can you imagine what that means? That means in the state of Georgia, voters don't have choice. Now, we know about the long and storied history of the state of Georgia with the United States Department of Justice, as it has tried to deny voter choice and even voter participation to those African Americans and white citizens who want a change in the state of Georgia. So what we have to do is to provide them choice. We can do that by getting on the ballot in the state of Georgia, which I believe has never been accomplished by the Green Party. So there are many concrete goals that we can accomplish by doing this.
Can I ask one more, ma'am?
Of course.
This mission, whether a long shot or simply difficult, is it more difficult because you're coming off an electoral defeat in your congressional seat and a controversy? Does this make your whole task more daunting?
I think the failure of the ballot access laws across the country to provide choice to voters is what's difficult. And so what we have to do is raise these issues, because at the end of the day, one must understand that politics is not a beauty contest, although I would hope that people would say that I could qualify. Politics is not a fashion show, although I hope people would say that I can at least get a ticket. Politics is not a popularity contest. Politics is about public policy and power. And so here we want to make it clear that our mission is to put public policy alternatives before a public that is asking questions. Any other questions? Rock Creek? Well, thank you very much for coming. And I'm going to look for these photographs on Getty, but I already know we can't afford them. Thank you very much for coming.